Starting football in '74, it was a dream come true because when I just first come out from England, I didn't know football existed for women. Dad went down to play for the local club, which was Greensborough, and Shona Bass's brothers happened to be playing there at the same time.
Down at a park called Willinda Park, my three brothers were playing soccer and I was just having a kick with one of my brothers, and I noticed two young girls similar age to me throwing a tennis ball, and I just went up and introduced myself, as you do. It gave me some indications that she was a keen soccer fan and what have you, and I said, well, we're about to start up a team. Did you want to join us? And she said, oh, I'd love to.
She approached me, she asked, I answered, and basically the rest is history.
As soon as she got even close to the ball, we realised we need her in our team. Like, she was fantastic.
Basically, it was being able to play organised football with other girls to see that, hey, we're not bad, we can play together. And the lasting friendships that we've got, that's the key, I think, to the start of it.
I first met Andy when I started playing in 1975 as a 12-year-old. Andy just looked like a man mountain to me because I was quite small. As a player, she left you in a heap on the floor if you got in the way, put it that way. She's a super defender, the person that I really had to work hard to beat, and I was quite pleased that I was actually playing as a winger because she was very much a centre-back, and it will give me some chance to actually get past her.
I first met Andy Martin on the pitch. She was this tall player that stood out from everyone else, but she was an opposition player. She played for Greensborough. And I was just in awe, basically, of the way she managed to play the ball. Her long clearances were always worrying, even from the other end of the field. And the team she played for were really the top team in the league, so it made it very, very difficult to save goals with those beautiful free kicks and those long clearances, and she was just awe-inspiring.
I loved taking free kicks and penalties. And the free kicks, generally people would put the ball down for me and then just take off because they knew where it was going to go. In Perth, I think it was '94, we were playing against the ACT and there was only a couple of minutes left to go in the game. We needed to score a goal and I'd just torn my quad, and I just said to the bench, look, I'll just take this free kick and then I'll come off. So I did. So we won. So yeah, it's something that I've always done. They chose me for free kick taking.
I think Andy's greatest strength on the pitch was her presence. For any opposition, it was just frightening, basically. And then when you saw what she could do with the ball, with her ball skills, with her long kicks and her height with her headers, that was even more frightening.
Andy was really creative as a footballer as well, more in the Beckenbauer type. But her overall strength was first and foremost, she was a defender, and that was her first role and did that rather well. You knew when you play next to Andy that she never gave up on anything, and you'd think, sometimes you beat her and you thought, I've beaten her, and then all of a sudden Inspector Gadget legs will come, around the corner and get you, and you think, I was away, how the hell has she got me?
Her tackling was good, her striking of the ball was fantastic. From my perspective, having Andy beside me or behind me was like that, she's got your back.
To represent Victoria in those early years, I was just so super proud. Dad played for the county for Essex in England, and me playing for state was very similar to that in Australia. So super proud, and to represent the girls that were actually playing in Victoria and to do them proud was a good feeling. Dad's influence for me in the early years was just great. He was a very good player and I wanted to be like him. Mum and Dad were both very, very supportive. He coached us in the early years and he was hard. And I always think he was harder on me because I was his daughter. And I remember actually a game in Melton where he was just riding me so hard. And I got the ball and I smacked it in the back of the net so hard I think I nearly broke the net, and I just turned around to Dad and I said, that was your head. And he just smiled at me. He coached the state team in '76 and '77, and he also helped me out one-on-one when I went over to New Zealand. He helped out with coaching there.
There's always a bit of rivalry because we were probably the two top players when we were playing together at Greensborough, and she'd often get best and fairest and I'd get runner-up. It was so healthy, it was so collegial, and it was all about each of us doing the best we could. Just a really lovely, fun thing.
Winning the championships in Alice Springs for the first time in '87, it was a dream come true. We'd been trying for so long and had come so close so often. We grabbed hold of the cup and we did a lap of the park. We didn't care, we just took off. Although that year, most of us got sick with the flu, and we were so sick by the end of it, I don't know how we managed to finish. I was so hoarse, I couldn't sing the song, which I was always supposed to do. But being able to take that big box with the trophy in it on the plane and to take it home was a special moment.
Andy's influence in the national championships in the Victorian state team was solid. She had a presence, and on the field she led by the way she played and just made a fantastic contribution to young players and anyone who played beside her.
18 nationals, I played most of those with Andy, I would suggest. On the pitch, leader, as I said before, super competitive, totally reliable. Loved playing with Andy. Off the pitch, just a total comedian. You know, it was always up to mischief off the pitch, always creating the laughs. But as soon as you crossed that line, it was full on, competitive seriousness. Yeah, don't mess with me type of thing.
To wear the green and gold, to finally be recognised, was job accomplished. I'd finished, done what I had to do. In the early days, we didn't have camps. So to go to the airport and actually meet the girls that you've been playing against and to play with them was a special moment. Hawaii, we played against club sides. We played on an open field. There was a man walking his dog and he stopped and had a look. There were no stadiums, no stands. But it wasn't until I went to New Zealand in '86 and we were at the QE2 Stadium. We had the national anthem, we walked behind the flag. That's when it brought it all home to me. That was the wow factor. When we played the Oceania Cup in New Zealand in '86, the final was against Chinese Taipei. I'm actually going to take credit for the last goal in the final. Fred, we got a free kick inside the box and Fred, the coach, said, "Andy, you take it." Every man and his dog, including the guy that was in Hawaii, I think, was standing in the box. So I just hit it and it sort of pinballed off about 14 players before it actually went into the back of the net. But they credited it with me because I started it, so I'll take it, thank you. When they rang me and said that I'd been put into the team of the decade for '80 to '89, I was very, very surprised. But again, another honour that I will gratefully accept. I played in the green and gold, and it doesn't matter where you played as long as you can say you did.
If Andy was playing football for Australia today, I think she would match it with the best of them.
If Andy was playing today in the Matildas team, she'd be in as a central defender without any doubt. But it was more than just the height. It was her ability to play like a shorter player with that height. It was her ability to make contributions in the game and make it look easy.
Recent Matilda, I'll probably say Kennedy. You know, not only just for the height, but the way Kennedy moves around the pitch and is quite that dominant figure in there. I'd say I'd liken the two, yeah.
I could see elements of, even though she played a different position, Cheryl Salisbury would be a sort of similar type player too.
It's great to be back at Box Hill because it brings back so many wonderful memories. Clubs in Victoria, to start with, were few and far between, and they were even fewer that would look at a woman's side, let alone accept them. To see the facilities that are available for women, especially at Box Hill. Box Hill have come so far. They've won, 9 championships, I think, now, and it's fantastic. In the early years, it was really hard. We got designated really crappy fields to play on. We didn't have changing rooms. We couldn't train under lights. I remember training at the Safeway car park once because we wanted to train later and that's the only place we could go. To know that we've come from selling raffle tickets to raise money to buy balls that we'd lost, to people playing overseas for a lot of money. I mean, Sam Kerr is on the front of FIFA 23, for heaven's sake. It's unheard of. We started it because we wanted to start it because we loved it. We started it because then other people could see you can do it too. But to see where it's gone and how successful they are now, and to know that we started that, is an honour, a thrill, and you've got to feel really chuffed about it, because it wouldn't have happened if we hadn't pushed in the first place.
In terms of Andy being inducted in the Hall of Fame, it's sort of like a no-brainer. So many players in that era have made such great contributions, but Andy's a real standout, and I'm sure she feels incredibly honoured, and I feel really fantastic that she's in there, you know, because we're both trailblazers together, and, you know, playing alongside each other for so many years. It's just right that she's there now.
I am absolutely elated that Andy has been inducted. She was a powerhouse of football in those pioneering years. I'm so glad to welcome her to the fold, because she well and truly deserves it.
I think it's long overdue, thoroughly deserved. One of the original pioneers of Victorian football. I think Andy would be honoured to be in the Hall of Fame, but I think she'd be pleased to be finally recognised as well. For someone to give that much to women's football in an era where there was no money involved, you did it for the pure love, and to drag us all through and give us a wonderful role model to aspire to, then yeah, you can't ask for anything more than that.
Although I was born in England and I've been in Queensland for a long time, I still think of Victoria as home. Nominations are wonderful, but when I actually got a phone call to say that you had selected me, I didn't know what to say. I was actually in tears just a little bit there, because I didn't expect to be recognised in that way after so long. And to actually have my name on a trophy like this gives me goosebumps. It gives you a great feeling in your stomach. I couldn't be prouder to be able to say that Victoria has recognised the efforts that we all made in the early years. Now I can say I'm a Hall of Famer. I'm pretty chuffed.